Hey guys, here we are with session 1 of the R12 workbook, Activating a Life of Authentic Character. And here we are with session 1, Understanding the Transformed Life. So what's it mean to be transformed in the likeness of Christ? Well, Paul teaches us this. He says in Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, "Therefore, my brothers, I urge you to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God, for this is your spiritual worship. And do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind so that you can do what is good, what is pleasing, and the perfect will of God." You see, Paul's not telling us this is a recommendation. There's a sense of urgency here. He says, I urge you to offer your bodies. He's saying there's no time to wait. In order to follow the ways of Christ, we have to surrender what we've been holding on to that has only been letting us down. You see here, sin over-promises but under-delivers, right? You may get this sense of gratification from whatever your sin struggles may be, but then it ultimately leaves you down and empty. Well, Paul's telling us there's no time to play. There's a sense of urgency. We have to surrender. We can't look the same as the world looks. We have to look apart from the world. How many times have you gone to a store and the lines will be super long? And you say, there's got to be another way. There's got to be an open lane somewhere. This can't just be. But yet people stay in that line, but then somebody finally steps out and decides to, hey, let me go to the other side of the store and see what those registers look like. And then you find out the lines aren't as long. You see, we're creatures of habit. The world has its set patterns that we're not called to follow if we're in the likeness of Christ. Pastor Skip Heitzig said, if you love the world, you won't change it. It will change you. And that is a fact. So God is calling us to look apart from the world and not look in the likeness of the world. Paul understood this, and he says we're not to conform to these patterns any longer, but we have to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. So how do we do this mind reset? Well, one, like I said earlier, you have to surrender. You have to let it go. You have to let God in order for him to begin the transformation process. You have to come to Christ and just say, Lord, I can't do this any longer. I can't do this on my own merit. I need your help. And then we need to be praying. And prayer doesn't need to be this formal type meditation or whatever that it has to be, I have to read a certain prayer in order to receive God's grace and goodness. No, God just wants you to communicate with him. And a lot of times it's just listening. We need to get still. Like right now, a lot of us are home because of the crisis that's going on around us. It's allowing this stillness to take place, this sense of solitude. So we have to be still and listen to God. That's what he's calling us to do. So take this time as a time of meditation and a time to just surrender to him and allow him to speak to your life. And then we need to dive into his word. You don't need to be no religious scholar. Just begin to read scripture and allow the word to begin to change you. And listen to worship music. Change your friendships. Maybe there's some friendships that you have right now that are not uplifting, but they're actually more of a hindrance to you than anything else because they're taking you down a road that you should be traveling. We need authentic relationships in our lives to help us change. And that's what this study is here to help you with. Over these 6 sessions, you're going to learn that. So God is calling us to totally just surrender and depend on him. And we need to look apart from the world, not look like the world. If people are not seeing a change within you, then it could be that maybe you're looking just as the world looks. And believe me, we're not going to be perfect. I have my struggles, and there's times I'm like, hey, I could have did a better job with that. I should allow God to just really work through me in that area, and I chose to go my own way. So hopefully this will help you out. This is just a small part of what's actually in this workbook. There's a lot more. There's questions to dive into for each session that you can do on your own, that you can do with a group. And if you'd like to learn more about this workbook, you can reach out to me through the Resolute Men landing page where there's information, or you can direct messenger me and we can make sure we get that information on ways you can purchase this book. So guys, hopefully this helps. You take care and God bless. We'll see you for session 2 real soon.